fact, it's a great honor to be here. I think GD Goenka is celebrating their 30th annual conference, and would like to deeply congratulate the GD Goenka family. Obviously, I'm not going to bore you with my speech, but I'm looking forward to a lot of interactive session because, you know, whenever I was in school, every time somebody came to speak, we all as a student felt bored about it. So I think the best way is always to get more of an interactive session and learn much about it. Yes, I unfortunately did not have that experience of going to college because I left my studies at the age of 16 after ICSE, and then I went on to play football professionally. And throughout my education life, I've been a boarder. So from a very young age, and till today after my retirement, the best days of my life has been during my school days when I was in boarding school. So that memory always stays. And you know, when I go back and meet a lot of my friends in Sikkim, they've all passed out now. A lot of them are bureaucrats, and they speak a lot about their college days, and I feel jealous about it, the way they really enjoyed the college life. So I think it's very important because when you're in school, when you're in colleges, I think the most important thing is making good friendship, making good network. I think today when I go back in Sikkim, I see a lot of my students, the school I passed out from, the kind of network, the kind of support system they have with their own school friends and college friends, that helps a lot. And I think that's what, when you're in college, I'm sure it's not a school, a lot of college students might be here as well. So I think these are the days where you make friends with a lot of them and have a great relationship, because I think during your good and your bad days, I think your college friends and school friends are going to be there always. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the interactive session now, and thank you so much for having me, GD Goenka family here, the entire school, the directors. Thank you once again, and I hope GD Goenka family and the brands of schools and colleges go on to bigger heights, because I think they've been one of the trendsetters for last so many years. I think, if I remember, I did come to GD Goenka school many, many years ago when they just started here, and as I think somebody was speaking, the roads were very, very difficult. Those days you didn't have those highways. I started my Bhaichung Bhutia football school just 5 kilometers away from here in a small school called Vedas International, which is a residential football academy. So I've been in this road quite a lot of time, and I've seen the entire changes and development that has come across this area. So I'm sure, I think GD Goenka has been pioneer in education, and I hope they will also try and start promoting more sports, because a lot of the principals and school owners are here. And I think it's time that a lot of education system has to try and put in the sports facilities and sports curriculum for us, for a nation like India to become a sporting nation. So thank you very much.
Can we have questions from the audience? Roina ma'am, please coordinate.
Any questions for Mr. Bhutia? Yes, sir.
Mr. Bhutia, we won. I am from GD Goenka Public School, Rudrapur unit. Rudrapur is Uttarakhand, and I wish to get associated with your academy, as we have developed a fairly good infrastructure for football. It's an Olympic-size football with complete drainage system built inside it, because it's a heavy rain area, and we have put a complete drainage system inside our field. Our field is totally dry after half an hour after the heavy rains also. So I want my students to be benefited, because we trust every student cannot be a good academician. But every child has a right to be happy and successful in life, whether they are IAS, IPS, doctor, engineer, or a sports player, or a musician, or a dancer. So how can we get associated, or GD Goenka, other schools if interested, how can you support us in this matter?
I think I would be very happy to come and support, because Bhaichung Bhutia football schools have in fact associated with a lot of schools across India. To give you a little background, I'm trying to promote BVFS a bit, but to give a little background on Bhaichung Bhutia Football School, in fact, we started in 2010. It's been 14 years now, and we are the biggest grassroots football program in India. And some of the graduates that pass on from Bhaichung Bhutia Football Schools are now currently playing professionally for a lot of ISL clubs and I-League clubs, and few of them have gone on to play for India. At the moment, 6 to 8 players are playing in different age group for the Indian national team. So we already are tied up with a lot of schools, and we would definitely want to, come and be associated with schools, where we feel that there's good sports infrastructure. In fact, I did go to one of the GD Goenka schools in Jabalpur. I know GD Goenka school in my own town, Siliguri, which is very close to Sikkim. And it's good to see that GD Goenka is pushing a lot of the franchisee schools to have sports infrastructure, because I think holistic development is very, very important. When we always discuss after Olympics or any other thing, why is India not doing well? But I think it's important for an individual as a parent or a person or a citizen or a school like GD Goenka or a franchisees to make sure that, there's sports promoted in school, and that platform and at least those facilities are given for any child that wants to go on to be sports persons. I think these are, very, very important for us. So
Okay.
we will definitely
We'll let you know.
let Bipin sir know.
May I ask you a question, please? You were the first Indian footballer to sign a contract with the European club. How did it impact you, your career, and Indian football as a whole?
No, before moving to England, I was already playing in clubs like East Bengal and JCT and Mohun Bagan. And for Indian footballers, I think these are the biggest clubs you can play. And I was also playing for the Indian national team. So I think the next challenge was to move out of India to see where I stand, and also to learn football more about it. And when you speak of England, Spain, Germany, and Italy, these 4 countries in Europe is all the footballers across the world, either in Brazil, Argentina, South Africa, every footballers around the world, they look at only these 4 countries they want to go and play. And for me as well, being in India as a footballer, these were the countries where I wanted to go and play football. And it was a big learning experience for me overall.
Please.
While growing up, as a teenager, who was your inspiration? What got you into football?
I think for me, while growing up, because we didn't have cable networks then, there was no television those days. So for me, the inspiration was the local players, because we grew up watching local footballers in our villages and in towns. And obviously, when you're born in Sikkim and Northeast, there are only 2 things kids do there is play football or do music. So those are the only things we grew up doing that. And so I think inspiration for me those days started with the local players. The first time I ever watched football in television was 1986. And that was the year of Maradona. I think our generation of people would identify that. I think Maradona was such a big influence in my life as well. And that's how, as a kid, I got a lot of inspiration. Obviously, there was passion as well. But as I was just listening to a speaker earlier, Tulsi ma'am, her dad was her inspiration, and she wanted to fulfill dad's every wish. I was just the opposite. My dad's dream, I was just going opposite to whatever he dreamt about me. So he didn't want me to play football. He wanted me to go to boarding school to become an engineer or a doctor, which was something which I didn't want to do. So I left school after 10 as well. So I think for us, that's how we started. And as Tulsi Madam also said, it was passion and love for the sport. But starting, I think it was the local players that really inspired, because Sikkim was a state where every villages you went, everywhere you went for a football, you could see full village coming and cheering your team. And because my father, I come from a very remote village, and my father was a panchayat then. So he conducted a lot of tournaments. So whenever he went to play in different villages, those days we didn't have roads as well. So we had to walk. So as a small kid in the front carrying a football, going with my village team with father leading as a player, when played to different villages, I think those were things that really get you to be fascinated and have great passion for that. And that's how I think football became part of my life that way.
That's so wonderful, sir. We have a question here.
Good afternoon, sir. So, in a country where most of the population is inclined towards cricket, and where the boys are mostly writing about Messi and Ronaldo being their idol when we give them topics like my favorite footballer. So, sir, how are you tackling this challenge as a mother of a 10-year-old who's also going for football practice and who wants to pursue that as a career? There's a sense of insecurity in me. So how are you tackling that, sir? Though I want him to pursue a career that he wishes to, but the support that we need, how is that support coming in?
So if I may add to her question, because recently I just wanted to share with you, a 12th grader shared your name as his role model, and he's in our school soccer team. And I spent almost 10-15 minutes of our English class explaining the importance of our national heroes,
Yes.
who are such wonderful, exemplar ambassadors of our country to the rest of the world.
Yes, that's
So
why I said
you
most,
are
yes.
still way there with Ronaldo and Messi for us, Mr. Bhutia. And yeah,
Most
her
of them
question
are
is still
writing
valid.
about that, and yes.
I can relate to you because I'm also a father now. So I've got 15-year-old twins, boy and a girl, and then 14-year-old girl, so 2 girls and 1 boy. First of all, I think football in India with the age group of under 15 years of age, I think it's become very, very popular. Thanks to Messi, Ronaldo, and a lot of European football. And also, I think a lot to do with Indian football, ISL, and also Sunil Chhetri being the role model for us. So, my son and his friends, my son obviously plays football and is going to my football academy as well. But when I tried encouraging him to play cricket, and I wanted maybe, and they play all sports. My daughters are swimmer, and they do other sports, gymnastics, to other sports as well, including my son. I was wanting him to play all the sports, and I was trying to push him to cricket because maybe one Northeastern is going to come and break into Indian team. You never know, you might have that talent. But trust me, that age group, they just didn't want to play cricket. It's like, who's going to play this game? And his friends as well. And that, shows that a lot of kids in that age group are now actually taking up football, and it's become a lot of passion, and also it's become a style for them. They follow Cristiano, Messi, a lot of clubs as well, but which is good. So, yes, it's difficult. Even when I work with a lot of television channels with, Star Sports, Sony, and when you speak about football, they say the viewership with kids in football is huge and massive. So, yes, there are kids taking up. Now, challenge to really pursue and make him get a career out of it is something which I also face that same challenge, because for me as a player, I left my studies. But with my son, it becomes very difficult as a father to do what I did to my father. I feel scared that if he's going to drop out, and is he really going to make it or not? As a father, you get scared. But I think if he's got talent and he's got passion and he's playing to a certain level, I think we should encourage that. But despite if not making it big as well, I think playing football and playing sports is very, very important because it teaches you way of life. It's very important to play a team sport because you start being a team person. It starts teaching you how to lose and win. One of the biggest challenges in India is also our system, because being a parent now, I understand a lot of parents go through that. Our education system, again, there are a lot of school owners here, principals here, and education, with education background here. Our education system also does not really support a lot of sports in terms of making a career out of it. Because right now my son goes to a school and the school demands certain percentage of attendance. Now if I want him to compete in a youth league or a state league, then he has to travel to different tournaments, train different ways. The timing is not enough for a athlete to win Olympic medal or play World Cup. I think just 1 hour of your after school is not going to help. And our education system is based on creating engineers, bureaucrats, and that's why we have doctors, engineers, bureaucrats in millions, because our system supports that. But we don't have a system in education where we support sports person. Today I have my son and daughters, they go to Pathways World School. They leave 6 in the morning, 6:37 in the morning from my house in Gurgaon. By the time they come back, it's 4. And winters, after school they come back, they go to football training, swimming classes and different things. It's already dark, football, you can't play. So how are they going to be world-class sports person if your system, education system is all about studies, and make doctors and engineers out of it, and you don't have any, and your school, during the school you've got 1 hour, 45 minutes of class, PT class. That's not a serious sports class. It's just for exercise. So if you're trying to create a world-class sports person and India wants to do well, I think there has to be some system change in our education policy that sports is given more time, and if there are talented kids who are there, should be given more time, train, and that has to be somewhere adjusted. I'm not an expert in that, but I feel somewhere down the line that has been a major issue. And I go and speak in a lot of conferences with a lot of corporate houses, and I feel sad and sorry that my age group people, they all say that I was a good cricketer, I was a good footballer, my parents did not allow, they forced me to get into thing. So we might have lost a lot of Messis and Ronaldos and Sachin Tendulkars because of our system and the pressure from the society and parents to go into education and make a career. So I think somewhere down the line, we have to change that. That's what I feel.
Mr. Bhutia, we had the former education minister here yesterday, and we had the former CBSE head here in the morning, so I wish they will hear your message and help us change certain rules, because MD sir allows our children to follow their sports, but then ultimately a CBSE exam, none of us can do anything. Right, sir?
So, Bhaichung, I'd like to ask you a question. You were a captain of the Indian team, and our principals are captains of our schools. So, how did you resolve conflicts within team members?
See, it's not very difficult as such, because when you're playing in a team sport, there's always differences. And for a sport like football, we have principal, that is the manager and the coach for us. And also captain plays a major role in a football team. So there are differences in terms of the way you play, the kind of things, mistakes you make. Being a captain, I've experienced that, because when you lose a match, you don't just lose it because there are some mistakes that's been made by a defender or a goalkeeper, and you lose that. So I always said that mistakes, as a human being, everybody makes mistakes. Today I might have great game, but I'm bound to make mistakes because it's part of your life. So whenever there is a mistake being made, especially as a captain, I made sure that we don't discuss that straight after the game, because that's the time you've just lost a very important match. You come into dressing room, your mind is not straight. I don't let anybody discuss football on those matters. We go back, don't discuss anything. We had a bad game, we lost it. We come the next day, then sit down and then start saying what happened. Why did that mistake happen? What happened? Goalkeeper, why did you let that goal in? And that's where you're more cool. And then you have your coach. Then we analyze what wrongs we did, and then try and correct and start going to the ground and working on those mistakes. But the most important thing is, I think we need to accept that everybody makes mistakes, and that mistakes are something to learn about it. But if you keep arguing on those mistakes, I think the entire unity of the team, and then trying to bounce back to get good result in the next match is going to be more difficult if you don't have that unity. So yeah, we try and make sure that we sit as a team, discuss our mistakes, make sure that whoever has made the mistake accepts that, and then go to the ground and start working more harder on those kinds of mistakes that we don't repeat it.
Yes, sir. Question from the gentleman there.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm from the Pali Magdat Pushkarna, GD Goenka School. First off, belated happy birthday, sir, because 15 December was the day when you came in. सर, आपने अपना सफ़र अपने गांव से शुरू किया. भूटिया घराने से आप आए, 2 भाई थे आप. दोनों भाइयों को आपको, चूँकि शुरू से ही आपकी बायोग्राफी मैंने पढ़ी है, काफ़ी चंचल रहे हैं, इसलिए हॉस्टल भेजा गया आपको. और आपका सफ़र फुटबॉल का बहुत ही कड़वा रहा है, बट आपकी उपलब्धियां बहुत रही है. जैसे हमें आईपीएल में सुना है कैप मिलती है, आपको 104 कैप मिली है सम्मान में. उसके साथ ही आपने अपना 100वां मैच जवाहरलाल नेहरू स्टेडियम में खेला और आपको सिक्किम स्नीपर के नाम से भी लोग पहचानते हैं. आप अभी जैसे हमने सुना कि आप पहले यूरोपियन टूर्नामेंट में खेलने वाले व्यक्ति हैं. आपको भी नॉलेज है कि प्रोफेशनल रूप से आप पहले हैं. आपसे पहले मोहम्मद सलीम खेल के आए थे, लेकिन प्रोफेशनली नहीं खेला था उन्होंने. तो ये भी एक हमारे लिए बड़ा विषय है कि कम से कम भारत कहीं तो प्रोफेशनल हुआ फुटबॉल में, और उन्होंने आपको चुना. सर, मेरा प्रश्न ये है कि शुरू हुआ खेल से भाईचुंग भूटिया कैसे झलक दिखला जा का विनर भी बन गया. और
वो तो गलती से हुआ है, डांस करके तो डेफिनेटली नहीं हुआ है. वो सारा नॉर्थ ईस्ट का काम नहीं था, खाली वोट करने के लिए बैठा था, उसी से जीत गया.
सर, कहीं ना कहीं तो आपका जो टैलेंट है सबने देखा है, तभी ये अंगुली से बटन दबा है.
कोई टैलेंट है ही नहीं, सो यू कैन ट्रस्ट. वो तो आप विश्वास कर लीजिए, ट्रस्ट कर लीजिए, कोई टैलेंट है ही नहीं.
आपका जो अपनी ज़मीं को लेकर जो डेडिकेशन है, आपने ओलंपिक मशाल के हाथ लगाने से मना कर दिया था क्योंकि आप तिब्बत स्वतंत्रता आंदोलन को सपोर्ट कर रहे थे. ये भी बहुत बड़ी बात है, क्योंकि इतनी बड़ी टूर्नामेंट के लिए अपने सरजमी के लिए रहना ये बहुत बड़ी बात है. तो मेरा सवाल सिर्फ इतना है इन सारी घटनाओं को बताने का कि भाईचुंग भूटिया जो मैदान में फुटबॉल से शुरू हुआ, आज सिक्किम में स्नीपर के नाम से, फिर मशाल छोड़ने वाला, फिर झलक दिखला जा का ऑनर, इतने सारे ये किरदार कैसे निभा लिए, हमें भी बताइए सर.
Lot of practice, Mr.
वो
Bhutia.
झलक दिखला जा तो गलती से हो गया है, वो भी मुझे फंसाया गया है उसमें. एंड दैट फंसाने वाला भी नॉन अदर देन लिएंडर पेस था, बिकॉज द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट वॉज साइंड विथ लिएंडर पेस, झलक दिखला जा करना. एंड सडनली उनका विंबलडन का टूर्नामेंट आ गया, तो वो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट तो साइन कर लिया. अभी प्रेशर पड़ रहा है सोनी चैनल वाले लोग और स्पॉन्सर से. तो इन दैट उसको एस्केप करने के लिए उन्होंने बोला मैं एक अच्छा आपको स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन दे रहा हूँ जो बहुत ही अच्छा डांस करता है. एंड देन दैट्स हाउ ही रिकमेंडेड माय नेम. एंड देन वन डे प्रैक्टिस के बाद आई वाज जस्ट सिटिंग, उस दिन लिएंडर का फ़ोन आया, बोलता है भाईचुंग आई हैव गॉट यू अ ग्रेट डील. एंड लिएंडर ऑब्वियसली वी आर ऑल कैलकाटा बॉयज, सो मैं कैलकाटा में फुटबॉल खेलता था ईस्ट बंगाल में. ही इज़ ऑल्सो कैलकाटा बॉय. सो उधर में फ़ोन आया कि इज सेइंग इज गॉट अ ग्रेट डील. आई सेड व्हाट इज़ द ग्रेट डील? सेइंग यू कांट से नो टू इट, इतना अच्छा डील है. आई सेड क्या है? and saying there's a dance competition, but and he didn't speak much on the dance. I said I'm not going to do dance at all because मैंने लाइफ में कभी डांस नहीं किया. नहीं भाई, the package is good, the money is good. So वो उधर उस तरफ लेके गया. And the deal what he signed, actually the way package and finance money wise contract अच्छा था. So he said ये करना ही है. I said I can't even dance. So he said no, if you can't dance, you know the package आपको अच्छा मिल रहा है and it's all about getting out. You are going to get out in 2 episodes. 2 हफ्ते में तुम बाहर है because डांस करने को आता नहीं. Why are you worried? So I also said okay, 2 हफ्ते में पक्का I'm out. He said पक्का out, you're out because you don't know how to dance. And that's how the channels came in, you know, the organizers came in. We spoke, I spoke to my club. They said, you know, it's a voting thing. आपको डांस नहीं आता है तो it's all about first week से we keep eliminating who can't dance. So I thought 2 हफ्ता में तो आउट ही हो जाएगा, but I didn't realize it's actually voting. So when I started झलक दिखला जा, तो I never realized कि वोट भी करना पड़ता है SMS का. I think those were the norms which you did it. The entire Northeast had nothing to do but just watch झलक दिखला जा and vote. And मैं उधर टेलीविजन में I'm saying मुझे वोट मत करो, मैं निकल रहा है. And they kept on voting, and then channel as well. And I was also an active footballer then. So it was one of the most difficult days of my life that time. But overall, at the end, I won Jhalak Dikhla Jai season 3. But yeah, it was a good experience. At the end, it was a good experience. So 2 हफ्ते में out होना था, 13 हफ्ता चला गया. So it was it. But I said after that, no reality TVs for me at all. So अभी तक मैंने reality TVs नहीं किया. In fact, Jhalak का जो prize money which I won, half the money was given to my choreographer, because choreographer को वो लोग तो they paid on weekly wages. Choreographer they get it because she did all the hard work. 13 weeks to really make me dance, and from non-dancer to a little bit good dancer, the kind of patience she had to go through. So half the money what I want, I gave it to her, and then half the money I gave it to all the charities. That at that particular year there was a big cyclone in Bengal, so there were a lot of people that affected. So I gave it, all my prize money was given that way. So it was good experience overall.
Thank you for sharing that wonderful story, Mr.
But the
Bhutia.
package was not shared what lender gave it to me, so that stayed with me. The prize money was given it out.
Wow.
Sir, just a quick question. I'm a little starstruck, so give me a second. My wife's family's from Nagaland, and you are a massive hero there. Just so you're aware. And
Dr. Brady, please join us on stage. Dr. Kevin Brady is our principal
so now I'm really starstruck.
at Vasant Kunj.
I remember when you came on the scene too in the English Premier League as well, and so my nieces are also starstruck. So if they see something like this happening, I'm going to be a celebrity at home, which is wonderful. So thank you so much. So I do have a question for you about values. So more and more in sport, you see behavior from celebrity sports people that kind of falls below the mark. And I know in Liverpool, which is the greatest football club in the world, Liverpool, not biased at all, the motto is you'll never walk alone. And so I always share that with our kids, because when I see them breaking into small bits and maybe not supporting each other, I think having something from sport to tie them together is important, and having a communicative value is important. So what do you think the role is in terms of folks like yourself who are leaders in the field of sport to teach values to the students?
See, I think sports definitely teaches a lot of values, and it teaches way of life as well. Because if you're a sports person, I think first thing is the discipline is very, very important. And sports, you get there are a lot of situations, difficult situations, but you've got to have that patience to tolerate that. I've had that experience playing in Bengal. When you play for East Bengal, Mohun Bagan, the fans are very, very passionate. And in England, it's same. With sports, no matter how difficult you go through with fans abusing you, opponents abusing you, you getting hit, tackled, you've got to keep that discipline and the patience there, because if you react to that, it's nobody's loss, it's your loss. You're going to get red card, your team is going to lose, you're going to get suspended, despite other people saying you wrong. I'll give you a basic example of, one real life incident that happened with Eric Cantona. In fact, Eric Cantona is a Manchester United legend, and he was playing in Crystal Palace. And when he was playing in that ground, there was a lot of abusive, racial abuse going on for him from the stand. One of the fans was really abusing him. And he couldn't take it, and then he went to the stand and started punching during the game. So what has happened was, who got the biggest loss after that incident was Eric Cantona. He was suspended for years, he was fined heavily. But if you look at it, it's definitely, it's a racist remarks were passed on by the fan. It was the fault of the fan. But as a sports person, you can't react to that. And these are the kind of things you tend to, with experience, you tend to grow and you tend to learn as well. And I think these are things which definitely helps you as when you grow up, after your retirement, you do a lot of other things, and you've got to build that patience, and it teaches you values to really be calm, composed, and have that dedicated and disciplined life. I think sports is, and especially football, is the sport that really teaches you how to be a team sport, team person, accept those defeats, learn from it, work hard. But when you win, don't, again, be too proud of it because you've got to keep going.
Hello, Mr. Bhutia. Thank you for coming here. And I was, like he said, I was also starstruck and could not even spell a name in front of you. So, like you were just talking about how when you grow up and then, you remember what your father used to tell you and you went the other way. And in other case, we saw that she wanted to do what her father sort of wanted to lead like. So, if you were to go back and, tell a 20-year-old Bhaichung Bhutia 2 messages, what messages would you give?
Definitely in terms of sports, I would say that maybe get to a better, good coach was one thing I would really have looked into it. Get into a good academy and good coaches to train under, because obviously those days we did not have anything as such in terms of coaching, platform, playing. We didn't have that. And I don't know, second one,
Regarding life, perhaps.
I don't think I would, I've been very lucky because, I got to play the sport which I was passionate about, and I had the right break because I got a scholarship through Sports Authority of India when Government of India started the scholarship for sports person that was around 85, 86, just after Asian Games that hosted in Delhi. So that timing and the timing was so great that, I got the scholarship through football, and my father was then a little bit okay for me to take up football because I was getting free education, I was getting, everything was sports, and all my football trainings, education was given on a scholarship. So that really helped me also play and let my father let me play that. So I don't know, I've just had that. I think you need to be in the right time, and a lot of things in business, sports, I think the timing plays a very important role. And for me, I was very fortunate that the timings in terms of playing professional, wanting to play football, that went throughout, because I know exactly my eldest brother was a very, very good footballer compared to what I was. But he never ever got any platform or opportunities like what I got. And that's why he never even played to state level as well. So that way, I think, just that in terms of sports and football, I would advise to go into proper thing. But in life, I think I'm just happy, and I don't think I would want to change anything much and advise a 14 or 13-year-old Bhaichung.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I
May
want
I
to-
ask another question, if it is okay?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So, sir, many of us might have missed the bus. Like you just said that you go and meet corporates and, people say that I have played this particular sport or maybe have done any other performing art and had to leave for whatever reasons. So now we have missed the bus. What can we do?
No, I don't think you should feel that you missed. The opportunities are always going to come. Yes, only for a sports person, yes. If you're 40 and you're trying to be professional, then you really miss the bus. If you're doing a lot of other things, I'm sure the opportunities are always going to come in terms of age and in terms of, so I don't really see that for a footballer as well, if you've not made it to a professional or not played for India, that doesn't mean that you stop playing football. I think football is which you play for good health, you play for your, for your social life, to be with friends, to build a team network, and also that, for your good health and for social to everything. So I don't think you should be really thinking on opportunity missed, because one opportunity miss, there's another great opportunity which is always going to be there. So I don't, as a person, I would not look, because again, sports teaches you and football teaches you that, because you've had a good game or a bad game, you forget that because you're focusing on the next game. If I've scored a hat-trick, that doesn't make me great, because if I can't perform next game, nobody's going to give you that kind of, oh, hat-trick kiya, bahut acha player. The next game you can't perform, they'll start criticizing you. You had a very bad game, you have that opportunity to correct in the next game. So I think you should, football and sports teaches you to always look forward and gives you that opportunity to look forward for the next challenge. And I think that's how you need to take it, rather than saying that ye miss ho gaya. I think you should look forward to another challenge or another venture.
Thank you so much.
Since we have all the school leaders present here, so I don't know if this question is even relevant. Is a person born a footballer or born a cricketer? At what age should school be able to screen the child's, I know they're influenced by TV and celebrities, but is there any way to get their sense of how they would be performing, whether they'll be good for cricket or tennis or?
See, I think
how does the
the
school
most
recognize-
important,
how does the school
the most
recognize?
important thing is what environment you're creating in your house. That is, I think, the most important. If you're sitting in a dinner time with your kids watching television, Saas Bahu ka serial, he's going to think on that line. If you're creating an environment of playing sports, talking of cricket, talking of football, watching Premier League, and the kid 5-year-old is starting to see that parents, passion for sports, I think they develop that. That is the first step. In terms of playing, I think we need kids to play all the sports. You can't just force kids to play only football or cricket, because right now cricket has got money and we see a lot of parents, nahi cricket hi khelna hai, cricket paisa hai, naam hai. I think that's the wrong thing which we would do. We would want our kids to play all the sports in school and see where the interest a particular child is going to take, because a lot of them would come up with. I'll give you an example again of my daughter. When she was in Sikkim, she was studying in a school there. She only wanted to do gymnastics. And then when we moved out of Sikkim, the one reason what she wanted to go to school was where they have gymnastic facilities. And then obviously she took an admission to a school where they had gymnastic facilities. After 1 year of doing gymnastics, she did well. She won all the thing in that school. After 1 year, she's given up gymnastics now, and she's taken up swimming. So you never end swimming. Last year, at the age of 14, I took her to swimming championship in Sikkim, and she won everything in Sikkim, because obviously Sikkim swimming standards are not too great, but she won all the leaders. She became a state champion at the age of 14 in swimming. So suddenly now she's again saying that I don't want to continue swimming. So she's looking at some other sport. So she's just 15. I think we need to give that opportunity to play all the sport and see where actually she's passionate about it. She might not end up taking any sport, but she might do something different. But sport is something which she can keep playing. She doesn't need to go and win Olympic medals, but at least for her health and social and everything else, I think sports is the only way that can really teach you to be tougher in life and teach you, I think, a lot of lessons of life. And that is why I feel that we should allow kids to take it. Coming to your question, I think by the age of 16, 17, if your son is playing football and he's not breaking into a state team or not making a professional move, then I think to really try and make him or his wish to become professional, I think we should then say that you need to focus on studies as well. If he's playing state level and getting a contract with a professional club at the age of 17, I think we need to support that. But if he's not making even in a school house team, but he's going on wanting to be footballer, and that's somewhere I think a coach and parents will have to say that, no, you've got to focus on studies as well. And that's where BBFS, we do quite a lot with our kids, because a lot of kids are passionate about it, but they don't have the talent, and it's difficult to tell them. But we have to tell them by 12th standard that you've got to focus on studies as well. Make sure that but don't give up football.
When we look at NBA, we see people say that Americans are built for basketball. So there's a common myth which says that Indians are not built for football. Is there anything
Not
such?
at all. I think Messi's proved it. Spain national team has proved it many times that the build is nothing to do with. I think the best team the world saw was the tiki-taka football when Barcelona had that team of Xavi, Iniesta, Messi. They were all short guys as Indian and physical as well. In terms of physical and height and build, they were all small guys, and they were the best team in the world that went on to win all the tournaments, plus Spain went on to win World Cup and European Cup with that same team. So I think it's just a myth. I think it's the talent, what you have, and obviously you're tactical with the coaches you work with. So I don't see that physical build is, I don't think is in football is not a major thing.
Hi, I'm Paromita Ghoshal. I'm from Kolkata, West Bengal. So it's nice to see you here. It's lovely talking to you. I have got two questions. I'm putting it at one go. First of all, being an avid sports person, do you think the progress of Indian sports is optimum as we are standing today in 2024? And the other thing, I believe the football is actually a game of soil. I've seen in Kolkata and suburban in the West Bengal, there are many underprivileged boys. Nowadays, I can see girls also. And they have these skills in them. So in what way Bhaichung Bhutia Football Academy can help them? Or do you think the government, is there any government initiative to bring them, their talent in the forefront? What is your take on this? Thank you.
No, I think in terms of government, it obviously is a very challenging thing because government can only do a certain thing in terms of building infrastructure and getting some kind of sports law which helps a lot of these kids get that talent and platform. In terms of Bhaichung Bhutia football schools, we definitely can help. If you've got coaches or kids playing and there are some coaches who are training them, if there are some highly talented kids who are good footballers, they can always get recommended and we give them 100% scholarship. In fact, 6 of my boys who are playing and girls who are playing for different age group for Indian national team right now are all from very humble background and they're all on scholarship.
Wonderful.
So we have that scheme. Another thing is I think Bengal has got that, Northeast has got a bit of that. I think there is a great football culture that is created. I think that's very, very important. If you look at South America and Africa today, best footballers in the world come from South America and also Africa. If you look at India and Brazil, Argentina, we have the same infrastructure, same lifestyle, but the best players come there. It's only the difference is because the culture of football and sports is very, very high. Every village you go, everywhere people are talking football. Every village you go, kids are playing football. That automatically produces a lot of great footballers like Messi, Suarez, and all these great players. I think that's what we need to create in India. We don't create that culture for sports quite a lot. And if you can create a basic ground in a village or anywhere in slum areas in city, create just open space and give them access with one football, you will see that we'll have a lot of players coming out. But till the time we don't do that, we don't give them that platform, we don't give them those open spaces for them to play, it becomes very, very difficult to really create and bring a lot of great sports person.
And what is your take on the progress of Indian sports as a whole?
I think progress, as I said, we first of all, as an individual, we need to start becoming more sporting as an individual. If you don't play as well, my request is at least start watching, start following it. When you're sitting with kids, start watching some sports channel or talk on sports. That's how you start encouraging sports. If you can't contribute by directly playing, I think you can contribute by watching sports. If you go and watch football, just that watching is going to contribute to the sport so much. And that is what we need to start creating. I think we need people to be more sporting as a culture. You have one big Daljit Dosan or Brian Adams show, you'll have entire full stadium. So we need to have something like that for other sports as well. We need people to go and start watching. Once you start watching is the smallest contribution you can do for India to be a sporting nation.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bhaichung, could you tell everyone about ISL? I think people know about IPL a lot, but there's so much awareness which needs to be spread about ISL and the teams and the owners and what's happening in the last 10, 11 years.
So ISL is what IPL is to cricket. ISL has been happening for the last 10 years. And the ISL is run by FSDL, which is a Reliance owned group. And I think it's one of the best things that's happened for Indian football and footballers, because I think footballers get huge opportunity to make a career and go professional. Because today, if you look at top 10 Indian footballers playing in ISL who earn anything between 2 crore to 5 crore a year, and which is a great prize, salary for a footballer to get in. And it's not only you have to play for India now, it's like in cricket, you don't have to only play for India to make a living. Once IPL came in, I think a lot of cricketers got that opportunity to have a great professional career in cricket. It's similar to what has happened with ISL football. In fact, IPL, Premier League cricket, also copied the same model from the Premier League in England or a La Liga in Spain. I think that's the complete model what they've copied and started IPL. And the ISL is very similar to that. So now if a lot of players are great, they want to make a career in football, they can make. When I first played for India in 1995, 11 of my players were senior players, but every player beside me, 10 players who were seniors had job with them. They were working in banks, some were working in railways, some were working in the army. So I was the only one at the age of 17, 18 that was with no job. After I played India, I had a lot of offers to play for, to join jobs with railways and army. I never took the job. I said I wanted to play professional. So it was important, me and few of my friends started the trend to go completely professional and not take jobs. Today, when I look at national team, 11 of the players, when you see them playing, every player is a professional. They don't have jobs in army or railways or anything. They're playing professional. So I think it's important that, we started this trend, few of my friends, and we all started. Now today I feel happy that everyone is professional there. And a lot of players, good players in army and railways are actually quitting their job to come and play professional. And that is what actually we require in India.
And when does ISL happen? And
ISL is on right now. We've got 13 teams this year. It starts mostly around November, December, and gets over by March, April, May. So we are trying to, I think the ISL is trying to increase the number of teams. Hopefully it'll become 16, 17, 18 in few years.
And you can watch it on Geo?
You can watch it on I think, Geo Cinemas, and I think it's shown by Sports 18.
A lot of celebrity owners also endorse these teams, right?
I think Reliance is going to be very happy for promoting Geo Cinemas and
Yes.
Network Sports 18.
So if you could share some fitness secrets with us, because you're an amazing role model for fitness.
No, fitness advice I would give is, I was on a webinar during a COVID time, and in that, the great legend Milkha Singh ji was there in that webinar as well. And I always say to everywhere where I go, the fitness tips, which was given and shared by Milkha Singh ji. And Milkha Singh ji said, two advice, because in that webinar, Mr. Kiran Rijiju, then the sports minister, was there, and Mr. Rijiju asked Milkha Singh ji, he was, I think, almost 80 plus. He said, what is the fitness tips? Because you're 80 plus, 87, 88, 89, somewhere around 90. I think he was touching 90. He said, 90 years, you're so fit, and you're saying that you've not even been admitted to hospital even once. So what is your fitness tip? And Milkha Singh ji said, मैं दो advice देना चाहता हूँ. He said, I'm going to give you two advice. And he said, first thing is what you eat. Every illness starts with what you eat, from stomach. He's saying, आपको दो रोटी खाना है, एक खाओ. आपको चार रोटी खाना है, दो खाओ. He's saying, don't overeat, eat minimum. ये करना शुरू करो, because all your illnesses starts from stomach. And then second he said is, morning just wake up, half an hour spent walking in the garden or anywhere, so that your circulation of blood happens. He's saying if you do these two things, and he's saying I've been doing these two things, and 90 years I've never been to a hospital, I've never been admitted, and and I'm so fit. And I think it really opened up, because being a footballer as well, it really opened up. Opened up my mind, because I felt it was so right. And once you start actually if you start crossing 40s, it's very important that if you don't exercise, at least what you take, what you eat is very, very important. So I think this two advice really hit me, and it really works. I trust me, it really works, because a lot of you can't exercise, wake up and do that thing, but if you control your food, eat properly and eat less, I think that these two advice actually have changed, because after retirement, I was also a big foodie. And as a Northeastern, we ate a lot of pork and
So for us,
especially
you're not
Naga,
retired at all.
Naga people, we eat a lot of non-veg and all that, but things have cut down quite a lot, and it really helps.
Thank you for that advice from the role model, Mr. Bhaichung Bhutia. And we have a special request if he would autograph and sign some of the footballs for us that we would like to keep as mementos.